Good afternoon, guys. So this is a little bit a different vlog today. I've never really done one of these before, but I felt I needed to. Something inside me. So, if you've watched any previous videos, you'll know that I'm a Disney fan. And obviously Florida and stuff like that. Absolutely love Disney for that. And I've probably seen every single Disney movie that's ever been made. And when we had our daughter, rewatching them again, quite a few times, some of them. One of my favourite films by Disney, and it's not my genre, but the one I enjoy was Snow White. And I think that was because it was made in 1934. The artwork, absolutely brilliant. The songs, absolutely fantastic. So when they announced that they were doing a live version of Snow White, obviously then there was the backlash of it. And I sort of got sucked into it. So when it came out in cinema, we didn't go and see it. I wasn't going to pay to go and see it. Disney Plus have now released it on their streaming service. We've got Disney Plus, so we decided to watch it last night. Now, before I get into it, if you're going to watch it at any point and you don't want any spoilers, stop watching now. I shouldn't be telling viewers to not watch one of my vlogs, but now, if you don't want a spoiler, stop the video now. Right, so if you're still with us, that means you've either seen it or you don't care. So, I went into the film negative because of what I've heard, and yeah, my negative side was right. Literally, I just don't know what they've done with it. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. My score for it out of 10 will be a 3. It's lucky to get a 3, only because the CGI was fantastic. They called it Snow White. I got another mark. I just don't know what they did with it. Like, we'll start with the main character. The girl who's doing it looked Mexican. That wasn't Snow White from the original. She was like a petite girl and naive and stuff like that. And here we go. We've done it to empower women. And that's what I've been reading. And it's like, really? Really? Was Snow White, has it ever been said about Snow White? And it seemed to me like all through the film, the girl who was playing Snow White was constantly scowling, frowning. She always had like a frown on her face. So what's wrong with you? Now, at the start of the film, obviously in the previous one, it was a prince that caught Snow White's eye. So they decided to go the opposite way. And to my shock, this time the man involved in all of this was a thief, was part of a gang. So where we've gone, look, we're going to empower women by making Snow White a fighter, and she doesn't need a man. We're going to turn the bloke into a thief. Come on, seriously? Disney's about princes and princesses. You know, Rapunzel, obviously, the man in that was a bit dodgy. But come on, from prince to pauper? And the irony of the whole film really is what they've aimed for is Snow White defeats the Queen. Let's think about this for a minute. The only reason that Snow White defeats the Queen is because the man kissed her to wake her up. So in theory, the man had to do something seriously important in the film to get to that point. What I just don't know what they've done. I didn't like the actress. She's a lovely, wicked actress, you know. She's a great actor, you know, but she was not Snow White. Not Snow White one little bit. The cottage with the magical whatever, the creatures. She didn't clean. So they did whistle while you work, but she wasn't cleaning. The dwarfs, the magic creatures were. Really? Come on. Now let's talk about the magical creatures, the little people. So they CGI'd them, and there was a big kick-off. Why didn't you employ little people to do it? Now, it all goes back to Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones saying that, it made a mockery of dwarfs, little people. They lived in a cave. No, they didn't. They lived in a cottage in the woods. Probably worth, £750,000, that cottage. They had a good life. They had a good life. Dinklage. So they've CGI'd them. Then they've made them magical. And it's like, why? Why are the dwarfs magical? It had no relevance on the story to make them magical. What an idiotic thing to do. But then, this was the bit that totally threw me off course while I was watching it. So you've got the CGI little people, magical creatures, whatever. In the gang of bandits was a little person. They'd employed a little person to be in the gang of bandits. Why? Why did you do that? Why didn't you just get 7 little people actors? I don't like calling them little people. Let's do it. 7 dwarfs. Why didn't we get 7 dwarf actors to be the bloody dwarfs? There was no need. And then the bandits had a dwarf. What's all that about? So as I was editing this, I realised I didn't even talk about the one thing that I needed to talk about. Dopey, the dwarf. Dopey. They made him mute, which he was, but he didn't look dopey. Because obviously it's disrespectful to people that look dopey. Then they made Dopey talk. Why? Dopey doesn't talk. He didn't need to talk. But they made it that Snow White brought the words from his mouth. Dopey doesn't talk. And why did you do it? Spoilt it. Seriously, why? Dopey didn't look dopey. Does it offend people who are dopey? Back to it. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. Let's look at the fact that you've got the actress playing Snow White, and you've got the evil queen, Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot wanted to be more beautiful than Snow White. You are. There wasn't any question of that at any point. It's not a great film. It just felt wrong. And this is happening with remakes quite a lot. Ghostbusters, when they put the women in, messed that up. RoboCop, the newest RoboCop. Oh my God, what are you doing? And now Snow White. And this seems to be the theme. And I think all Disney cartoon films should be made into live action. I think that'd be brilliant. So you've got the cartoon and the live action. Now, with her looking Mexican, this isn't a race thing. I think Ariel was a good choice to have that black actress. Absolutely brilliant choice. I'm all for the next James Bond to be black. Idris Elba. I'm totally up for that. It's not that. It's just the fact. Some things work, some things don't. And this did not work at any point for me. And it spoiled the film. And it just, I don't know. For me, it was a 3 out of 10. It's lucky to get a 3. It's got a 3 because they called it Snow White. They didn't call it Seven Dwarfs, so it should be 2.5 out of 10. Seriously bad, you know. And when there's talk of like a live action Frozen, and I'm thinking, who are you going to cast in that? You know, who you going to cast in that? Absolutely crazy. So if you've watched Snow White, guys, give me your opinions down below. I'd love to hear what people think. Agree, disagree with me. If you've got an argument, hit me with it, honest to God. If you're going to watch it now after this, and I'm sorry for being so negative, but it was crap. It was crap, you know. Let's stop let's, I don't know, let's do remakes, but come on, let's do them properly. Come on, Disney, just let's go back to normal. Yeah. I know there's a big fuss at the moment about a black actor being put as Snape in the new Harry Potter film. I've got no issues with them doing this, but why do they go for characters that is such a big change? Such a big change. It's like Snape is Alan Rickman, you know, and you've decided that he's the character that's got to be black. There was a black actor anyway when they did Harry Potter in the Ministry of Magic, so it's like, come on. For me, they've nailed the actors and actress that's doing Harry, Ron, and Hermione. I think they've done that really, really well. But my God, I don't know. But Snow White, wow. You know, I haven't looked if there's any more live action films coming out by Disney. Like I said, I've heard about the Frozen one. I don't know if there's any more. I'm going to look into that. But please, let's just have a bit of sense now. Let's get back to normal. Let's not make print. Let's try to give men a bit of respect as well. Making him a thief, man. What was that about? It didn't make any sense. It really didn't. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this weird movie review of Snow White. And like and subscribe, guys. I'm sorry. It spoiled my evening watching it. I'm sorry. Like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ta-ra.